Step into the spectrum where the quiet learn to speak. Where cowards lose their cover and the bold become unique. Black pages birth the light. Every pigment takes its role. If you came here once unseen, this art will make you whole. Welcome to the canvas where excuses come to die. Where ink comes down to timid and colors testify. No shelter in the palette, broken edges forge you whole. This is conversations in color and I am Unfold the Soul. Yeah. And I am Unfold the Soul.
Welcome to Conversations in Color with Unfold the Soul. I'm your host, Ken Williams. I'm an artist. I'm an artist because I don't know much shit about art, but I make a lot of it. Because behind me on the wall is a smattering of my hand-drawn art. I make it on black Bristol using Posca markers. And the show has a pretty simple structure. Every week, I'm going to go to the wall where the art is the star, but the wall makes the call. I'm going to pick a piece. I'm going to place it here, and we're going to have a conversation. Let's see what the conversation is this week. This week's piece is Unbox My Motherfucking Teachers. I'm going to say it one more again for the folk in the back. Unbox my motherfucking teachers. Been talking a good bit about teacher expertise. I was going to give you a handful of reasons why I am imploring leaders to unbox my motherfucking teachers. First off, there's a natural order to things. There's a natural order to things. Every teacher is an individual and different talent. Even when they're teaching the same content, each teacher is a different and individual talent. So, resources purchased serve expertise, it doesn't replace it. But by the very nature that every teacher is different, to stuff them in boxes and make the box the most important thing that's unnatural. That does not follow any of nature's natural laws. To hire experts and then literally tie their hands around their back. Resources serve expertise. Resources don't replace it. I'm going to give you some context. This is going to be one of those twofers where I'm going to pull a second piece of art that just is so aligned. Centered. This is I can tell this is a really early piece because it is not on black Bristol. It's on very thin, it's just art notebook paper. And I'm going to read it to you from the sticker. One of my most popular stickers. Teachers, make that box your bitch. You hire curriculum and purchase resources. Let the box serve how you teach, not tell you how to teach. And so I just want to give you some context what I'm talking about when I say unbox. And look. Unbox my motherfucking teachers. What are we doing? I talk to principals, man. You guys talk about programs. That's how I know what a leader's on. When I don't ever hear about teacher expertise, all I hear about is the program you're doing. And listen, PLC is the best model in a bad system. But I had to start checking principles, man. I'm talking to you on the phone. We're preparing for PD, and I don't hear anything about teacher expertise. All I hear is you brag about, we a PLC team, or we doing this or this reading program, or that math program, or this, that. We do this model. That's all I hear about. That's all principals talk about are programs. They never talk about your people because you're not interested in their expertise. Anyway, unbox my motherfucking teachers. I got this in a sweatshirt form too. Sold was sweatshirt. Anyway, so these are laws of nature. Again, the difference between the content you get on this channel and every place else is I don't dabble in research. I got to find out the nature of things because everything is governed by nature. And so when you hire experts with a variety of areas of expertise, you don't put them in boxes. You buy boxes and set the boxes next to them. Because resources serve expertise, not replace it. I want to put this back up. So here's another example of the natural order of things. When teachers are experts, they're not inside of a fucking box. When the teacher's an expert, the box is there as a resource. You got a teacher who loves 90% of that box and makes it work, then great. Somebody kind of picks and chooses and goes a la carte. And yes, you can still be going after the same standard. But you get 3 teacher experts together, they're not inside of no fucking straitjackets. Those are the teachers that scare you a little bit because they have enough agency to understand what expertise is about. My wife's one of them. Now, luckily, she's been in situations with principals who understand expertise. 100%. 100%. She's been very fortunate to be able to operate as an expert. Is she aware of circumstances? Yeah, but it's passing awareness. What it got to do with what she's doing at that table at night when she's grinding out the next lesson, the next expert? She's always, it's. And I used to wonder, is that how we were raised? Is that part of our heritage? And yeah, some of that's got something to do with it. But ultimately, I'm going to tell you, she's just an expert. And if you hire Nicole Williams to come through with something, if it doesn't kill her, it's going to happen. She's going to make that happen. That's just how experts, professionals operate, you know? And so teacher experts, not even amazing teachers, or awesome teacher experts, they don't live inside boxes. They don't live inside boxes. Consistency should come from principles, not scripts, not compliance. And that's what principles and all these walkthroughs and all that shit measures is compliance. Compliance like teachers are fucking 8-year-olds. The box is the servant, never the master. The teacher's the fucking master. But right now, teachers, your leaders got you serving the box. And the difference between serving and helping is this. When you are serving something or someone, you take a servant's posture. And so you may come in like all this, but with that box, you better get it together and all be the same, all mayonnaise. Because they got you serving the box. That's why principals and superintendents talk about you like you all look the same and are the same. They say teachers like it applies to everyone. But the box is the servant. The teacher's the master. So I tell teachers, there's the box over there and there's some awesome stuff. And if it serves you, use it. If it doesn't, don't. Just whatever impact you have, when you want to get better, you get better. But when a person's already an expert, you don't have to tell them that. Because that is the natural order of things when you're an expert. Right now, leaders, you got the equation flipped. You got teachers serving the fucking boxes. And that's because you wrapped up in demographics and not their expertise. That's all it is. Role confusion. You think you run a hospital where you need wet nurses, birthing, so you need wet nurses. But if you were running a learning institution, you'd need teachers, teacher experts. And you had 3 fourth grade math teachers with 3 completely different styles going after the same standard, and you facilitated the conditions for them to be their best going after that standard. You brag about that all the fucking time. But you can't brag about that. Best you can say, I would put our teachers up against anybody. That's all that fucking effervescent victimhood of y'all appreciating them teachers for what they enduring. Teachers ain't enduring shit. Their expertise. They're not enduring backgrounds of kids because that's not their job. Their job is to come in and flex that content-driven bad bitch. And every time you put them in a box and prevent them from trying things and risking things. And teachers, if you're watching, I need you to sit down right now. Sit down on something soft. Because what I'm about to say, when I tell you, it makes teachers just go like this. How about this? Instruction begins with the teacher. Get standard. Instruction begins with the teacher. How would you teach that? I do that. Teachers look like they're about to faint because they never asked that. Because you got the box and the program and the protocol and the patient guide and all these things. None of them addressing teacher expertise. None of your walkthroughs make a teacher better as a content expert. And all she's there to be is a content expert, not a wet nurse. You got the equation flipped. Everything's supposed to serve the teacher, nigga. Everything. You keep putting your ashy ass kid stories at the center of everything. Teachers are at the center of every fucking thing. That is the natural order of things. Don't you know this started out as a teacher in a classroom with some kids? And then one day, the teacher said, if somebody drove the covered wagon to and from school, where the kids live, I might be able to teach a little longer, but maybe be able to plan a little more. And then transportation was born. And then if somebody like makes the lunches for the kids, I'd have a little more time to teach. Cafeteria was born. Right? If I had like a sous chef, just someone who is aligned with my stuff and I can get him to do things and make small groups, and then the apparel was born. Like every job in the system, every job is born of the teacher. And here, you as leaders get caught up in your effervescent victimhood and you turn your schools into hospitals, saving kids from the very parents who fucking hand them to you, ginning up these fake causes. And now we're in an era where your school bears no resemblance to your leadership, not a fucking ounce. And if you caught up in that and you want to change that, get at me. Because that's what I'm doing these days. I'm helping anybody who's not scared and ready. They're at the end of themselves. They actually want results. You actually want to do the real work. The real work ultimately is building the best locker room in the area. I love Rick DeFore. And I love what he did with the PLC process. There's no question about that. But at the end of the day, Rick was a great white shark about talent. He didn't have no warm bodies at that school, and he would poach the shit out of everything around him to get it that way. He began first with teacher talent. And they got to flex as experts. And the PLC process went off the fucking rails when they started paying attention to demographics. But he never talked about that shit. Becky never talked about that shit. Dr. Bob never talked about that shit. It was always about the experts getting better in their area of expertise. Not at relationships and shit. Stop saying the word relationships. It fucking sounds weird. When you're in the business of teaching, relationships are the natural order of things. The only reason you have to be reminded of it because you're not an expert. And the reason you need to be pounded about it is because it keeps your eyes off of your real work. See, because you can't focus on expertise if you are being made afraid that kids' only relationships only happen at school. When have you ever said, you know what, I have to remember to build a relationship with that kid? Who's ever said that? Who's ever had that thought? You don't have to think that. It's a natural activation when your work matters. And when you are focused on the right work, which is your content expertise, not caring for their circumstances, not attention to their circumstances. But that's your leaders. Keep telling teachers, our teachers letting kids' backgrounds get in the way of their expectations. Well, nigga, they didn't come up with subgroups. Teachers didn't make up the word subgroups. Teachers didn't make up demographic and population. And if all the delivering is their strongest instruction, what does any of that shit matter? It only matters because you want it to matter because you get to hide behind it while teachers suffer. It is a complete mindfuck to hire experts and then bombard them with factors they cannot control. It is a mindfuck of epic proportions. You couldn't write a reality show and get away with that kind of script. And because your leaders put all the focus on kids and their ashy-ass stories, it distracts us from what's really happening. Said it before, I'll say it again. It's the only reason there's a shortage in education. It's the only reason. There's no other reason. Because the natural order of things in a country like ours, a job that has 90 days off, if it were focused on teacher expertise, if schools were known for what teachers get to do, if schools were known like a martial arts studio was known for the faculty, we'd have no shortage. If teachers could go in and teach and be the best fucking history teacher they want to be and not have to remember that Deshaun ate grits 3 days in a row with no butter, we wouldn't have a shortage. So I'm not anti-curriculum. I'm anti-role confusion. Role confusion. Leaders, you think your role is to be an effervescent victim, well-dressed victim. Fuck appreciating your teachers, show them motherfuckers off, but you can't. We didn't hire teachers to serve the box. We bought the box to serve the teachers. There's a natural order to things. Teachers first, tools second. That's governed by nature. Teachers first, tools second. Leaders, guess what you do naturally when teachers are first? Run around like a fool, making sure they have everything they need and a lot of what they fucking want. That is the natural order of things. That's why you may use this video to train, but there ain't no real training. It's alignment. It's acceptance. When you accept and do the job you're actually paid to do, all your behaviors will line up. Because your teachers will be first. Right now, you say they're first. They're not fucking first. The teachers don't even exist. Let me see if I covered everything. I did. I should meet you where you are. So I'll leave you with this question. So when the box is the boss, does it even matter who you hire?
And I am unfolded soul.